So why hasn't democracy helped in literacy development as much as it should have in Nigeria? What's your theory on that?
I think it has to do with the, I hate to be saying it's about leadership. It has to do with the quality of democracy that we're running. Of course, I mean, there's no referendum, but we all know that this is a charade, this is a sham, what we're practicing. Because votes are made for Subeb, all those figures that they throw around. Well, I mean, you have to ask yourself, when they're spending billions on Subeb that more children should go to school, and still we're still having this huge problem of illiteracy, of out-of-school children. What is the vote for education? Every time we make a progress, we regress. I think it was under the last administration that they claimed that the investment in education went to about 20-something. It wasn't up to 26% of UNESCO. That UNESCO, what do we have now? We're not even up to 11%. From what I read last, I didn't check the figure. I didn't know this question would come up. We're not even up to what we were doing like 4-5 years ago. Why? Why are we like that? Whereas if you check other places, you see the way they have made progress in terms of the vote. Look at Rwanda. Let's even go to Rwanda. Small, tiny country, Rwanda. Then look at the vote that they have for education.
Which government parastatal is in charge of or oversees book festivals, book fairs, and such things in Nigeria? Is there any? One would assume
it ought to be an interministerial kind of arrangement.
Isn't that confusing?
It's not confusing in the sense that education, in some countries, education and culture are linked together. Because there's cultural education, there's education in culture, there's culture in education. They are linked together in some places. I can't remember the countries now. So in our own system, because you must have 36 ministers from all over. It comes from the constitution. You must have 36 ministers. So they have to allocate something to education, allocate something to this. In other places, culture will be a unit within the education system, so that education and culture can collaborate. Where the Ministry of Culture is looking at book festival as a cultural program, as a touristic program, education will be streaming in educational imperatives, educational needs into what the culture is providing. And so they will coalesce at some point so that programs of education will be feeding into culture, programs of culture will be feeding into education. But that's not what we have.
So you organizers of book festivals and book fairs in Nigeria at the moment are on your own?
OYO.
Totally.
OYO. But I know that there are some of our colleagues who know their way, how to get government. As for me, I think we came to the conclusion at the Committee for Relevant Art that, look, at this age, we've sustained this thing for almost 20 years. We will not run any after any government. What we do is that we levy ourselves and we levy our friends. In fact, some of our friends will become non-entities. When they see us, I'm sure they will say, he's coming to beg for money. Somebody told us, when we did 26th anniversary of Kora, somebody wrote a piece, he said, in those days, Francis Onwuche, very good friend, good supporter, he said, it got to a point that anytime he sees me coming, he will just run up there. This guy is going to beg me for money. So we levy ourselves, we levy our friend. Look, the guy who started Kora and who is the head of Labaf, sold his property. The fact that Toyin Akinsho is not a rich man today was because all the money he probably was making at Chevron, whereas his mates were buying big houses in exotic places. Toyin couldn't afford that because he was spending, he would earn money, he would pour. Even me, my salary was about 154,000 naira as an editor at The Guardian. 40,000 was always set aside.
Okay, finally,
yes.
Finally, 20 years of Labaf, Lagos Book and Art Festival. What's going on this year?
We're going to have a big party. Let me warn, we've not raised one kobo. We've not raised one kobo because there's a telecom company that we've been harassing since March. We've seen that they are paying heavy fine and they don't even want to listen to you. The NBL that is supporting poetry and all this, I'm told that they've done reshufflement. So the whole thing is one kind. There are some banks that are sponsoring. I don't know how they do it. I don't have temerity to go and ask for money. But this year, we discovered that anytime we don't have money is when we have the big party. 2 years ago, we had not a single kobo. We had to expand from 3 days to 1 week. Last year, we experimented with partnership. The whole of this place was filled up for 1 week. We extended from 3 days to 1 week. This year, I wish I could speak Yoruba on this program. That whatever it will take is what we'll give it. I'm sure you understand what I mean. We are going to have a big party. We will paint the whole of this place bright. And we're networking with our friends. We're looking at people who are doing programs. We're bringing them on board, and they're happy to join us. And you know, a lot of the young people that grew up on us in the last 20 years have become big guys, not in terms of money. They have their own programs, and we've convinced them to bring their party to join us. Let's just have a big celebration. As we say, Lagos Book and Art Festival is a culture picnic with a lot of book content. So the picnic, the real picnic, we're going to celebrate it now. Our only worry is that Tony and myself, we are becoming seat-tight because I'm always having to direct the team. For a few years, we brought in younger people to run it, but they had to move on. They couldn't maybe give the kind of thing that maybe because we have settled ourselves in some way. So the worry is that what happened after 20th anniversary? Some people have been coming to us, oh, we expand it, bring in there. They even want to change the topic. We told them it's a literacy campaign. We're not running a literary campaign. I'm not going to spend huge money to fly in writers from anywhere. And then they come here, and after that, they go away. And I can't say, I want to work with the writers who are here, who can stroll into this place and say, look, open environment, bring your book. If you can't afford our table, which is 10,000 naira, don't worry. Bring it to the Labaf table, and then. So we're not, we love the writers, but we love the book more.
Jahman, nice to have you on Channels Book Club. Nice chatting with you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.